Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the second ever live reaction that we're doing here for wrestling. Let me just open up the little grid that we have here that we prepared.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final event of the evening.
Alright, so let me just put that on hold for a split second. Get my comments up. I need to use my mobile to do this. Dawa Penyor Dorji says, "Oh damn, it's nice to know you're a fellow wrestling fan." Hey, it's nice to know that somebody that watches my channel is one as well. I'm kind of like, what do people know about wrestling that visit my channel? They know I do stuff like anime and stuff like that, mangas and stream video games, but what do they know about wrestling? So it's nice to see a fellow wrestling fan. Welcome, my friend. So I'm just going to put up a quick poll there. Best performer ever. And I'm going to let you guys vote on it. On the live poll. Is it Flair? Is it Shawn Michaels? Oops, I spelled Shawn's name wrong. Is it Undertaker? Or is it someone else? And you can add that in the comments. So with that being said, that's put out. And then one last thing for us to do. If you don't know, I recently created a live action adaptation of the anime The Way of the House Husband. I'm just going to pin that comment real fast. There we go. So, posted that, and we are good to go. All right, so one of the reasons that I'm doing this is basically because Yose Kentucky, a good friend of the channel, requested this. Yose had found out that I recently, I think it was 2 days ago, made a live reaction to an unreleased title match. It was a title match that involved I think it was the Ultimate Warrior and Bret Hitman Hart, and they took on Kamala and the Godfather. It wasn't the Godfather. It was Papa Shango. The Godfather and Papa Shango are the same people, but yeah, it's well known that the Godfather had multiple personas throughout his career. And it was a good match. It was nice doing that little reaction. I'm a big wrestling fan. However, I found out Yose was a wrestling fan, and he watches the channel. He's a good friend of the channel. And then he said to me, he wrote me an email. Kareem, sorry I couldn't comment. Saw the Bret the Man fight. I think he meant Hitman. And he says, "I didn't know you were a wrestling fan. I thought you were a casual noob. No offense." First of all, none taken. I am a casual noob. I don't know too much about it, especially anything after Steve Austin. I've just recently reattached myself to wrestling, and the reason why I'm doing this video today is Hacksaw Jim Duggan, as far as I've read, is in hospital currently. So prayers with him and his family. Hope his health will get better. And yeah, I just wanted to show my appreciation for him and the rest of the crew that are involved in this wrestling match. And he went on to say, if you could do something with a live reaction with Ric Flair, the Great, please do, big wrestling fan. Of course, that's what we're going to do just now. And if you guys like it, just send me an email. Let me know what else you would like to see. But before we start, please remember this original video is from Karrina Calbrassa on YouTube. So we're reacting to that video. Give them a like and show your support to them. And let's get into it.
Scheduled six-man tag team contest, accompanied by his executive consultant, Mr. Perfect, weighing in at 244 pounds and hailing from Charlotte, North Carolina. Here is the self-proclaimed real world champion, Ric Flair.
There he is, the kiss stealing, the jet flying, the Rolex wearing, the greatest, in my opinion, probably one of the top 3 gates of all time, Ric Flair. What was it? Kiss stealing, Rolex wearing, jet flying, limousine driving, son of a gun. Yeah, Ric Flair, one of the greatest performers of all time. Ric Flair was an alcoholic most of his career, but yet his unbelievable pace and power, and the way he sold fights, the way he put other people over. By the way, what did she say at the beginning? Let me just turn that back. I need to stop the video now and again so I don't hit a copyright claim. I'm sure you guys understand.
Mr. Perfect team contest, accompanied by his executive consultant.
Accompanied by his consecutive consultant, Mr. Perfect. Are you kidding? Is that even a title? Like, what does an executive consultant do? Basically, Mr. Perfect was there to hold people in the ring that tried to get one over on Rick. He would come and kick them from behind. But yeah, okay, we'll call that a consecutive consultant. Whatever, I'm sold, I'm sold. Rest in peace, Mr. Perfect. An amazing athlete. And there's a compilation video of an Irish YouTuber. I'll need to get his name for you guys. Top 10 best saves, where something is botched, but the other wrestler saves the other one from injury and harm. And I think Mr. Perfect is on that list 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. Such a great reaction. Always put the man he was working with first, and surely missed.
Mr. Perfect from Charlotte, North.
The Nature Boy. There you go. There's the Nature Boy there, man. He's got similar hair to the similar hair to the ring announcers, no?
Weighing in at 249 pounds and hailing from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
She's dressed like
Here is
circus ringleader. There we go. There's Jake the Snake. Look at that. People throwing rubbish at him. Look. Oh my goodness. Look at that. So, listen, Jake the Snake. I love Jake the Snake. And I remember as a kid watching his snake bite basically the bejesus out of, who was it? Macho Man. Oh my god, I was terrified as a kid. These people throwing stuff at him. Back then, well, I mean, look at the shape he's in, right? He's obviously a big guy, and he was a very good technician in the ring. But the last thing you would want to do is throw something at Jake the Snake. He had such a traumatizing childhood. His sister, I think it was his sister was murdered by her ex-boyfriend's future wife or something like that. And he was actually very good in school. He wanted to become an architect. But he was, you know, he kept getting pulled into these weird situations, living in trailers and then saving his sister from foster homes and stuff like that. I mean, this guy had such a rough childhood. And yet these people are throwing things at him. Don't forget, he's not only a big, strong guy who's went through a traumatizing past, he's also a trained martial artist. He trained with Gene LeBell. Gene LeBell, Bruce Lee mentioned Gene LeBell as being a formidable martial artist, and Gene LeBell was one of the first mixed martial artists of all time. And he used to wrestle with bears, kind of like Khabib Nurmagomedov. So, and I think he studied jiu-jitsu and judo with him. I forget. I would need to read up on that. I should have came more prepared, but yeah, I mean, this is not a guy you would want to throw stuff at. But great performer. I mean, shows you how much people hated him. The real bad guy. Dreamy just joined the chat. Dreamy, how's it going? We're doing a quick wrestling reaction video. I hope you don't mind, my friend. You're welcome to come and chill with us. And I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a blessed Sunday. I literally believed he rolled into that ring because he couldn't stand up. Maybe the night... Oh, here we go.
Weighing in at 328 pounds, and hailing from Death Valley, here is The Undertaker!
All right, so this right here, I could get demonetized for that, or I could get a copyright strike, but it's so worth it. I mean, just to let you guys listen to the Undertaker's entrance music. Dreamy says, I'm hearing you with my earphones, my headphones. I hope you can hear the music clearly. He has one of the most terrifying entrances of all time. By the way, for those guys that don't know, Undertaker has an interaction movie on Netflix. I think if you watch it on your PlayStation, it's called Escaping the Darkness or something like that. It's a game you can play on Netflix, made up of videos from The Undertaker. And another thing that, I mean, I'm not even going to go into is how crazy this man's career has been. He's had over, I think, 17 operations in total, and about half of them were on his back. And he's been wrestling since the 80s, just recently retired, and people are already crying for him to pop back, come back, one last ride, you know. But yeah, crazy amazing athlete. And a tower of a man. I'm quite tall. I'm like 190 and this guy just dwarfs me. Oh, he's a ginger like me. There we go. There's hope for us. There's hope for us. Dreamy says, yep, I can hear you good. Thank you, man. Thank you. Dreamy, are you into wrestling? I mean, we have a game stream later on. I'll be playing Mickey Mouse after this. Saying Mickey Mouse while The Undertaker is making his entrance. Wow, look at the merchandise, huh? I think his gimmick is in the top 10 of all times. Here we go, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Apparently a down-to-earth guy. I heard some short interviews. So short interviews is when they don't speak with their characters. They're not trying to promote anything, when they're actually just saying what it is like to be in the wrestling business. Oh, look at Paul Bearer at the right there. Look at him. He's scarier looking than The Undertaker, man. So, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, I recently read, is in the hospital. So, a shout out, you know, a little tribute to him, and prayers for his family. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. So there we go. Canadian, I think born in the States, pretending to be Scottish. I don't know what's going on there, but there we go. Both of them got blue trunks on. You can't tell who's who from behind, eh? Roddy Piper. Ah, you know what I'm just realising? Roddy Piper trained with Gene LaBelle. I hope I didn't mix anything up with Jake the Snake. I think that was actually Roddy Piper that trained with Gene LaBelle, so... And by the way, another thing, Roddy Piper had a 40, I think he was in the wrestling business for 40 years. He started like he was a teenager, and I think he died when he was 60, heart failure or liver failure. Let me just recheck that. That Jean LaBelle thing is disturbing me. Let me just check here. Alright guys, my apologies. So apparently our good friend Jake did train in different martial arts, but it was actually Roddy Piper that trained with Jean LaBelle. And he got a black belt in judo. I just read that there just now. It's on Wiki Fandom. So my apologies for that. But it's good, I'm starting to remember all these things. For those of you that like the Marvel Universe, Macho Man is actually part of the Marvel Universe. He was in a Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, and his original persona, I think, was the Human Spider, and basically it was based on Spider-Man. Oh, look at Ric Flair's eyes. He's really selling that move. Come on in here. Look at Jake the Snake, ready to grab something or somebody. Oh, what did he just say there? You're too ugly. A little bit cheap trash talk is always enjoyed. Oh, nice. Look at the speed of what they're going back and forward. Oh! Ric Flair has such an immense pace. I want to do a reaction video to him and Ricky Steamboat. They go for 20 minutes non-stop. But you've got a lot of personas here, so they need to take breaks in between, build it up. Look at Mr. Perfect, the executive consultant to Ric Flair. Whatever that is. There we go, Jake the Snake. Now we're going to see some good technique. Jake the Snake's involved. I still stand by what I said earlier on. Look at Jake the Snake. From this angle, I mean, I know Flair's leaning over and the Taker's in the background, so it's hard to say what the discrepancy really is, but Jake is a big guy, man. People throwing stuff at him. You wouldn't want to do that in a dark alley. Also, what's crazy to see, if I just go back here, take into consideration, these three guys are still alive. It's 2022 and these three guys are still alive. Now, some of you might be saying, yeah, so? That's a rarity to see three legends that were active in the 80s and 90s and they're still alive without, you know, too much physical issues. Roddy just getting the crowd high. Oh! Roddy really knew how to do crowd control. They didn't sell that bump too well. They kind of made up for it. Oh, yeah, there we go. I always felt Macho was a little bit... I mean, I love Macho Man, but I always felt he missed his targets a lot. He blew out his knee once with his own special technique, and the opponent wasn't even moving. There we go, this is Hacksaw. Selling the dead man's moves. I mean, apart from Roddy Piper, everyone else has got an American background. I don't know why they're shouting USA. It's like death has nothing to do with the US. I don't know what's going on there. John Massacre. Welcome, John Massacre. Ooh. Undertaker's a big guy, but he's so flexible. So flexible. John says, this is an important comment, right? Because I know what John just says. What John just says is something that can trigger a lot of WWF fans or WWE fans. But I just think it's important to accept what he's saying and just approach it with some logic, right? So sorry about that, just getting everything set back up so that we don't have any issues here. So John says, my whole childhood died when I found out that WWF was fake. Here's the thing. The matches are pretty much predetermined. Not always. Some of the matches aren't predetermined. And these people, they train with each other, right? Especially nowadays, they do a lot of training together to make sure they don't hurt each other and they're friends in real life and so on and so forth. In my childhood, I thought it was 100% real. Later on, I figured out it's it's not like a boxing match. It's not realistic in that sense. But one thing that is super real is the injuries these guys take. My favorite martial arts of all time is actually one I don't practice. Oh, Roddy's biting the Undertaker's forehead. It's catch wrestling, and catch wrestling is the origin of this type of wrestling, show wrestling. And I remember training with a friend who did catch wrestling. Oh my goodness, it goes onto your knees, your shoulders, lifting another human being up, like constantly, putting them in locks and stuff like that. Doing that at a high pace, you're going to bump heads, and you're going to bump your shoulder, you're going to bump your back, your knees are going to be sore after it. And I'm still okay with that, you know. But jumping from the top rope, you need to make sure that the person lying there is not going to like stick their foot out at the wrong time, that the people that build the sets made sure everything is set up properly. That otherwise, the injuries, oof, they are real. There we go, Jake working Hacksaw. And with the amount of pain these guys go through, no wonder they're always upset when they hear it's fake. But I mean, the fact is, it's fake in the sense it's not real competition that is live at that moment in time. But they do compete with each other. In the dressing room, there's a lot of politics going on. You can even see Flair telling Hacksaw, one more. Rick was always so good at selling other people. Look at that. Landing on your back like that 3 times in a row. So yeah. I mean, I always say, oh, when I found out it was fake, oh my, I was crying. Oh, there's the ref. The ref stopped him. Sometimes they have matches and it's not predetermined who would win. But what they did was they would tell the referee, I want this and this person to win. And the referee would then whisper into someone's ear and they would change the outcome to make it as real as possible. I think they did that with Sid Vicious a couple of times. Another thing I just wanted to mention was, I think I didn't talk about Jim Duggan. Jim Duggan was here earlier on. Let me just scroll back to Jim Duggan. One thing I wanted to mention about Jim Duggan was he survived cancer. And not a lot of people know that. There's a new guy in the WWE who gets lots of respect for that. But Jim Duggan was one of the first, I think he was the first Royal Rumble winner. And then he was one of the first wrestlers to survive cancer. I don't know what kind of cancer it was. And then he's also supposed to be one of the nicest guys in the locker room, because even though you can say wrestling's fake, sometimes these guys would hit each other if they don't like each other in their private life. Boom, there we go again. And they would do real damage to their so-called partners in crime, you know. That ref has got good reactions, man. So John Massacre says, who are your favorite fighters? So WWF, I need to say the Ultimate Warrior had something special going on. Also, the $1 Million Man was a cool gimmick. That was Vince McMahon's gimmick he would have used for himself had he had been a wrestler, he said back then. And then, of course, the Undertaker's pretty cool. What are you watching? What website? So the website is at the top right there. It's Karrina Calbrassa. She's on YouTube. And it's a reaction video to something that she posted a while back. Fun fact, Ric Flair, for those of you that don't know, I think he's been wrestling for like 50 years, but Ric Flair actually is adopted. I don't think he knows his real parents. Here we go, the Undertaker. Undertaker credited his longevity to him being very slow-paced. Who's yours favourite John Massacre? Who's your top 3? Oh, look at Ric Flair, look at him. Dirty blonde con man, look at him. Just choking people while other people aren't watching. Oh, look at the strength of Undertaker, man. I genuinely think Roddy Piper's like screaming because that is literally far too much for him. Ric Flair getting those punches in. Ric Flair's confidence. I mean, he's the smallest guy there, but look at the confidence in him. Such a good performer. Oh, banged into Mr. Perfect. So John Massacre just says his top 3 favourite wrestlers are John. I'm assuming he means John Cena, not John Massacre. But maybe he fancies himself as a world champion. Big Show. And The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So everyone who's called like John, is that a thing you've got going on there, John? You only support people... What's Big Show's real name? I don't know that. Big Show once fought against Floyd Mayweather. And so did Jake Paul. And Jake Paul, or Logan Paul? I forget which one is which. Fought against Floyd Mayweather in the boxing ring and now recently was in WrestleMania. Look at Jake. Jake doing his own little version of ring control there. Oh, poor Roddy. Like a Scottish guy getting beat up by 3 Yanks. That's just the way the world is sometimes. Ultra Player says they are huge. Yeah, those guys are pretty big. Look at Flair putting the extra weight on by putting his legs up. Look at that. Look what Flair says. They're always shouting USA. I don't get it. I thought they were already in USA. Do something about it. And by the way, if they're shouting USA, aren't they doing that in the favour of Ric Flair? Because isn't Roddy Piper supposed to be Scottish? I don't know. Logic, gravity, linear storytelling, it all goes out the window when Ric's in town. The Undertaker keeping that mean look. There we go. Oh, that's good core strength from both these guys. Now that's like a very theatrical chain wrestling thing they had going on there, but like 1 out of every 3 or 4 moves is actually a legit move. There was one move that I really liked from Ric Flair there. What was it? Let me see if I can get it. Ah, I think it was this one. You'll get that in catch wrestling. So that was a hip throw. If you look at those back legs, let me see if I can pause this. So you see this throw here. Look at Ric's back leg. His right leg is on the outside of... Is that Roddy's? Roddy's right leg. This means that it's actually harder for Ric to lift him up. What he wants to do is he wants to get his right leg either in between Roddy's both legs, or the best thing to do would be to get it on the left side of Roddy's left leg. And then it becomes like the easiest thing in the world. Then it's like you're flipping a pillow over your back. Oh, he went down to his knee. Okay. Well, I mean, that's also one way to do it. But still impressive, because then he sets up the next technique. So he's got the headlock. And that was actually the right way. That's one way you can get out of a headlock. I think he stabbed him in the eye. That would be legit. Dreamy says, I'm eating McDonald's. Oh, Dreamy wants to get huge like these guys, eh? Eat your veggies. Don't forget to eat some veggies, Dreamy. John says, when Pacquiao and Floyd fought, they tied. But who do you think should have won? To be honest, that fight is something that always bothered me, because I thought Pacquiao approached it the wrong way. I'm a big Floyd fan, but when the two of them fought, I just wanted to see both of them fight at their peak and to have it a fight to be remembered. But Floyd was controlling it pretty well, and Pacquiao didn't seem to be the old Pacquiao that I knew on that day. He seemed to be a little bit heavier, a little bit slower, and Floyd was countering very well. But I thought that Pacquiao would need to go for broke, and he didn't. And I love Floyd, but I adore Pacquiao, and I just wanted to see Pacquiao go for it. And he just couldn't get off. He just couldn't get off the starting block. And I really appreciate Manny Pacquiao. He's an amazing fighter. He's broke tons of records, and I would have loved to have seen a rematch between the two of them, but we never got it. And I think if anyone ever had the chance to beat Floyd, it would have been Manny Pacquiao. But that's just my Oscar De La Hoya also came close, but that's just my opinion. I think Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd had a split decision. That is amazing strength, man. For two alcoholics? Could you imagine in Glasgow City Centre 2 alcoholics doing that on a Saturday night? I mean, come on, they'd just end up breaking their own necks. These two guys, amazing. Very reserved as Macho Man here. I think you can kind of tell the difference between... Oh, Royal Rumble. Hacksaw was tripping over Flair. He's just knocked Jake out of the ring. Undertaker and Piper getting at it. Ooh! That was the move that blew out Macho Man's leg. I don't know who it was against, but he blew out his own leg with that move. God bless him. Rest in peace, Macho. So Ric took the fall. I would have expected Jake to have taken the fall there. I don't know why, I just assumed. By the way, that's a very colourful outfit Macho Man is wearing. That's like so 90s. That's like Sonic and Tails type box cover that he's wearing. Oh, Mr. Perfect coming to collect the pieces. There we go, the three gentlemen celebrating. I mean, imagine you're a little kid and you're 100% convinced that this is real war, this is a real battle, and you get to high-five these guys. That is like the greatest day in your life. And even as an adult, you'd be highly entertained, eh? So one thing I'd also want to mention here is something a lot of people might not know about Jake the Snake. If you've ever heard, well, John says more like Knuckles. Indeed, yeah. Have you ever heard of Jake the Snake and Diamond Dallas Page being friends, or being pretty close? It's because they actually saved each other. Their quality of they improved each other's quality of life. And it was back in, I think it was, I don't know, was it the early 90s or late 80s or mid 90s? What happened was Jake Roberts and Diamond Dallas Page, they crossed paths a couple of times on the circuit, and apparently they knew each other prior, and Dallas Page wasn't able to sell himself as a bookable talent. So what Jake Roberts did was he started teaching him about the business. Apparently they would meet after performances in the locker room, and he would, like, you know, share some secrets and tricks of the trade and show him some moves. And he says, you could add this to your arsenal, the crowd really likes this, or don't go to this state, maybe work with this guy. You know, he taught him all the basics. So that was like, I don't know, 30 years ago or something like that. And then what happened was recently, about 4 years ago, Jake the Snake almost died. Now, this has happened to Jake the Snake multiple times, but that was like the last time it happened. And Dallas Page caught wind of it, and he reached out to him, and he says, hey, listen, I think he said to him, come and stay with me, or I'll come and stay with you. I don't know what happened. And then he started, like, filling him full with herbal tea, cooking him breakfast, teaching him, like, Pilates and yoga and stuff like that. And now apparently Jake the Snake's sober. He's re-signed with AEF or AWF or what they're called. And he basically saved his life. And Jake the Snake said, yeah, that rat, I taught him all those things 20 years ago, and now he's using them against me. So I congratulate Dallas Page for doing that. Good on you. You saved someone's life. You bettered the quality of someone's life, and you paid them back after all those years. So, you know, amazing. John says, imagine getting so excited about getting a high five that you accidentally slap the fighter's face. I think it's happened a couple of times. I know that they've elbowed each other and stuff like that. What's Macho Man doing on the ropes there? Usually the idea in these wrestling matches is you put the good guys to the left so you can see their reactions on their faces, and the bad guys to the right. But if the actors are better, the ones that are playing the bad guys, you would put them to the left. And I think Macho Man was not out of his league or anything, because he's definitely got a good bit of crowd control, running back and forward, you know, raising his hands, doing his little gimmick and whatnot. But, I mean, Ric Flair is just the man when it comes to that kind of thing. I mean, look at the way he falls and he sells the punches and things like that. Ric Flair survived a plane crash, and I think he broke his back twice. He's also one tough guy. And to think he's in his, his 70s or 80s, and he's still, like, training new talent and doing interviews all over the world. Look at Mr. Handsome Perfect. Look at that. Executive consultant. Anyway, guys, that was just a trip down memory lane. I never saw this match. Oh, look at the kid in the background with the fake 2x4. Oh, here we go, Jake the Snake. Look, Mr. Mustache. That was just a trip down memory lane. I just wanted to give a shout out to Hacksaw Jim Duggan, one of the greats. To be honest, I had his figure as a child, but I was never like a super fan of his. That's how spoiled you were if you were watching WWF. But you're stupid. I think Macho Man's missing quite a lot. Let's see. Yeah, I think his timing's a little bit off. But anyway, yeah, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was amazing, man. He helped put a lot of wrestlers over as well. He always made them look good. And even in the Royal Rumble, when he would get kicked out, he would land on his feet. You'd be sad for him, and then he would be like, oh, and he would just scream, do his little funny pose as he's doing there. Look at him get the crowd. They really know how to involve the crowd. So hats off to all of them. And it's crazy to think Undertaker was fighting all these guys through all these years. And there he's telling him the next move. There we go. And now he's going to put him over. Yeah, he put that whole belly behind that. Oh, there's the power of the urn. Amazing. Good fun indeed. So that was nice to visit, have a trip down memory lane. So guys, thank you so much for joining. Jose, I hope you're happy with this little video. It was nice watching that. It was nice talking about the old guard, as I would call them. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, my friend. And thank you for everyone who joined the chat. I didn't expect anyone to come for a wrestling video, but you guys are always welcome. It was cool hearing your input. And we'll see what else we'll react to in the future. You guys can always send me a request. But WWF, that to me takes precedence over the modern day Wrestling Federation. So guys, I wish you all the best. Don't forget to check out my video, The Way of the House Husband. It's uploaded now. It's based on the anime of the same name. Plus, we're going to have some streams this week. Amongst others, there will be, I'm just trying to remember, CUPHEAD, Mickey Mouse, and so on and so forth. So maybe I'll see you, maybe I won't. Either way, thank you so much for dropping by, and I'll see you in the stream in the next couple of minutes, the Mickey Mouse stream.